Of all the nations on Earth, none more vigilant, safeguarded, prepared. Was it vanity? Bad luck? Or something more sinister? One thing is beyond question. This is where we push back. This is our defining moment. If we fail, our nation falls. We are the free world's last line of defense.
Got to look at that other trailer. What I think that does such a cool job of is really just setting the stakes for what's going on in the Division 2. When, what are those exactly? What's going on?
Well, I mean, the city has collapsed, right? And the civilians have, survived. They're in little settlements. But a lot of bad factions have risen to power, Specifically, in the demo, you're fighting the True Sons. All these different factions have their own wants and needs. The civilians have their needs. And, you need to get in there and defend the civilians. That's really what it comes down to.
Absolutely, right? Yeah, at this point, DC's fallen in a way, right?
Yeah.
The Division is the last line of defense, really, before it all goes down.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you mentioned the demo. I think we can go to that right now. We got some gameplay to show off.
True Sons have this area locked down. But if you can capture their control point, you'll be clearing the way for the settlement to take it over.
So this is, the area we just sort of took a look at. But what's going on in this demo?
Well, the cool thing about this demo is, this is not some scripted mission. It's not a side mission. It's not a main mission. This is just the open world. This is the living world that we're creating. So the players are just exploring the living world right now, and they come upon a control point. And that's one of these things I was talking about, where that the True Sons faction have moved in there to try to lock it down. And if you get in there, you can call civilians to help you and try to take it back. And if you hold that, you're getting resources for the civilians. You're helping them out. And these types of things can just occur throughout the living world, right? They're different every time you play. And we really want to increase the replayability of even this aspect of the game.
Yeah. And so we're looking here at a 4-person squad, right? Sort of switching between angles. Walk us through a bit of what these players are doing, what each specialization might be.
Yeah, so I think the most noticeable thing right off the bat is they're using cover a lot, and that's a core pillar of what we're trying to do. Is we want to really put an emphasis on the core shooter feel, right? So the lethality is, you really feel it. You want to fight from cover. It feels very tactical. And so you'll see them using a lot of very smart cover and getting kind of flushed out of that cover throughout the demo, right? And having to kind of react on the fly as to what the AI are doing. In terms of their skills, I love the deer. That's one of my favorite.
I love the deer.
Yeah.
I made the mistake of shooting the deer in my demo just to see if I could, and I felt so guilty.
It broke your heart.
It did. It did. People, don't shoot deers. Yeah. Don't do it, even in game.
But anyway, if we look at their actual loadouts, right, we can see here deploying a skill. They've thrown this hive out, and you can see this is one of the new skills that kind of shoots out these little micro drones that seek out targets. Kind of once again, just like a new toolbox for you to play with. Here we're using another one of the new skills that lets you throw out this kind of explosive mist into the air, and when bullets penetrate inside of it, it lights on fire.
Okay.
So there's
clouds of fire.
Clouds of fire, right? And you can imagine you could lay down this cloud of fire, throw the hive in there. The hive lets out the chain reaction of fire throughout the battlefield. We're trying to create a lot of interesting synergies between what players can actually build.
Yeah. And I think, we started off in sort of a enclosed interior space, and now we see, the Capitol building in the background. It's a much more open space, like you were talking about, than we'd ever seen before.
Yeah, absolutely. I think even that first building we went through, you could have come in through the second story or the bottom and attacked from all these different angles, and it feels like you have options. But then you get into an environment like this, and you could completely 360 flank around this space. There's tons of different tactical positions, and I really think it's going to add to the replayability of the game. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, and you're totally right. Just even seeing here trees and grass and greenery, in the hot DC summer feels like a total change of pace for the Division.
That guy just got some sick loot out of that supply drop that was stuck up in the tree. We're trying to hide a lot of stuff like that around the space, which is cool.
Yeah, so I mean, the environments are worth exploring too.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah, you wanna pay attention and look around.
Not only pretty, but they got loot.
That's what this is really about. Just give me more loot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So here you can see, the control point is up. The True Sons have captured it. When you go in, you could totally try to take this control point back on your own, or you could call in nearby allies. So you shoot off a flare, and that actually calls civilians to come and support you and try to take this back, and then they'll hold it. And they're really out there, and they really have to travel to this space, and it's all part of this living world simulation.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we're looking at a 4-player team right now.
Yeah.
But of course, you can play this all by yourself. So if you need a little support,
yeah, absolutely.
shoot that flare up, right? You got
Yeah, and you can kind of get into position, shoot off the flare, see them approaching, wait to attack until they're there, and kind of really plan out your attack in a more strategic way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So here they're fighting the True Sons. What's important about this point? Why is it a control point?
So each of the control points, there's lots of them littered all around the environment, but they're places that would have some sort of resource that these factions and these settlements need. So it might be water supplies or food, or there's varying things that they go after. But yeah, each environment has something that these factions want out of it. And this one on top of it is an amazing crashed Air Force One, which kind of does add to the spectacle.
Oh yeah, certainly. What I think what's cool that we're seeing here too.
Yeah, you'll see the task force has just arrived from when he kicked it in. Sorry to.
No, absolutely. But we get all these different perspectives, and you see how different you can play. You can be right up there in the middle with a shotgun.
Like this person just pulled out their specialized weapon, which is the grenade launcher. And you actually have to collect special ammo for that. So you'll be collecting special ammo for your weapon as you play, and and then using it at really the right moment, right? So it's these big explosions of power that are super impactful on the battlefield.
Yeah, we just saw the drone there as well.
Yeah, this person just pulled out their 50 cal sniper rifle. It's pretty meaty. The best way to describe it.
I mean, when you're sitting behind a hefty sniper rifle, you definitely want to feel that kickback, and you want to hear it too, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And a 50 cal, if you did that in real life, you'd fall. You pull out your pistol and kind of shoot yourself free. But if you're playing in co-op, you can still have control of your weapon. You're still taking out targets around the battlefield, and your buddy can shoot it off from cover. And you see in some of the demos those little moments happen. We're trying to push a lot of team cooperation, team synergies, but also totally let you play this game solo if you want.
Yeah, but you could totally see how in a game like the Division or the Division 2, where the cover is so important, and being out in the open, especially now that enemies can flank you, they can surround you, could be a death sentence.
Yeah, and in general, the lethality is if you feel it, right? And we want to make it where you feel powerful and you feel like you're taking out enemies quick. And when we do have those enemies that are bigger, bulkier, larger targets that are going to take some concentrated effort and some time, we don't want them just to be bad guys that look like they should go down in a couple shots. So that's why, these guys you see, they have a big, heavy armor guy, and you can actually shoot the armor off and create different, weak points where you're shooting underneath the armor or break his armor off completely. And a lot of the enemies have weak points littered throughout them, and you can see a lot of them in the demo. Like the Riot Foam guy, you can shoot his Riot Foam pack, and it will lock him down,
awesome.
Which is really cool. Yeah, and people around him. It's neat.
That's awesome.
Yep.
And we talked about the openness world, how it lets you approach things from 360 degrees, get the drop, ambush people how you like, but your enemies can also use it against you too, right?
Yeah, I mean, you really have to be on your toes, that's for sure, right? Like, the cover layout as you're approaching that crashed Air Force One that's a really wide battlefield. So, there's cover positions way back, which are awesome for that person with the 50 cal to kind of keep an eye on the entire battlefield. But as you push in, you'll see the enemies. They're moving around you. They're trying to flank you. They're trying to push you into different cover positions or pinch you. And you really have to be more on your toes.
Yeah. Well, Keith, I'm infinitely excited about the Division 2.
Cool.
We're still talking. We're still here. But when's it coming out and where?
It's March 15th, 2019. PS4, Xbox One, PC. Very excited.
Awesome. The thing I love though is that there's still plenty of reason to play the Division 1.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot going on there.
It's still going.
Yeah, so what's happening in the Division 1 still?
So there's stuff happening every month. Every month we're running different global events. The Strike global event is up right now for a few more days. And those are kind of just something we added in year 2 that are kind of really good and fun ways to mix up the gameplay, get back in there and farm some cool gear. We also have special events going like double XP weekends and double rewards, things like that. But then on top of that, we also are still doing patches. We just did the 1.8.3 balance patch. So we're still listening to the community. We're still, very much trying to keep the game alive. And we have such a big community playing it right now. We want to support them.
Talk a little bit more about what shields are in the Division.
Yeah, no, shields are super cool. That's something we added a few months ago. And basically, each month from now until Division 2 ships, there's a new set of these commendations, which are kind of like challenging in-game achievements for you to go and try to complete. And as you complete those commendations, you're getting rewards for your Division 1 character, which is awesome. But if you complete enough of them, you'll have rewards waiting for you in Division 2. So we really want to, the players playing this game are passionate. They put tons of hours into it. In Division 2, you're starting, as that new agent, that's been sent to DC. But we want to give you some rewards for all the time you spent in Division 1. So get in there and grind out the commendations, which is pretty much what the people on the team are doing too. So
yeah, no, yeah. That's what's so cool. And you mentioned taking this end game first mentality with the Division 2, and I think it's just showing how much the dev team is doubling down and focusing to this day on the Division 1 and bringing end game content.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've added so much to Division 1 over time. The game is it's very full right now. We have the 3 major expansions that came out in year 1 that added tons of interesting new game modes. And then there were, PvE world expansions in year 2 and PvP modes, and it's a really large game right now. There's a lot to get through for gamers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, one thing I want to ask you.
Yeah.
When the Division 2 comes out, March 15th, what specialization are you picking?
Oh my gosh, Demolitionist.
Demolitionist, yeah.
Yeah, it just hit me real fast.
You heard it here,
That was
folks.
off the cuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like it. So, folks, that's it for our segment on the Division 2. You can pre-order the game right now to get access into the private beta. Comes out March 15th, Xbox One, PS4, PC. We're going to be right back after this. We still got plenty more coming up. We're talking For Honor, Starlink Battle for Atlas, Far Cry, Brawlhalla. Keep it locked right here. We'll be right back.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Keith.